Hello, fellow Liberians. Hello. Listen, I know, I know my mentor when we're making headline in Liberia there, right? There are a lot of us in Liberia there who, I mean, there's this big noise over what's happening in Liberia with one way, and his project in his district, and and I see fellow Liberians, the whole internet hot. Everybody don't tell one way back, and they say, oh, if you look at the video there, you see the little rest place Ted Wongwe built, and one of the rest places Ted Wongwe just built for his district. And according to him, it's going to be a project, a multiple project where he's going to have these different rest places across his district. And then the internet, now the internet has gone, wow, everybody like, oh, the man be anything correct there. I let my picking name like, bro, when they making that movie, my picking said, your ear show, yeah, man, turn the ear show. But let put fun aside, let put all the joke aside. There are a few things about this project that I want to just quickly give my idea on. I know I did a post and I saw a few people respond to the post. Share the show if you on. Please share the show. If you're on YouTube and you're witnessing, subscribe to my channel. And so tell one way, uh, one of our representatives within the House of Representatives there within Nima County, and the young man decided to contribute to his district. And then one of the things he decided to contribute is what you're looking at right now. This the little structure that you see built down there. And after Tia Womwe posted his video, his post about what he's planning to do in the district and to launch this project, he's thinking about to build multiple small places like this for people who will be doing farm to market road transferring or traveling. And then so people have a lot of things to say about Tia Womwe, but what is my view on this? Uh, even though I know I did a Facebook post, but I want to have this conversation where I can explain myself because some people taking it out of context. They're taking it out of context and they're saying, "Oh, I'm supporting mediocrity." And in the both people where mediocrity means. Um, you supporting project that not big, small project that's not meaningful and all that kind of thing. But let me give you a few detail why I think tier one way in the beginning of my statement. Say tier one way is not wrong, representative one way is not wrong, right? So district number 9, representative tier one way is launching this project. And the thing about this project is that the young man called it infrastructure project. Now, I will take my time to explain this so some people don't get me wrong, right? Am I saying that it is a good thing that if you want to do a project, you should go for the minimum or the less expensive or something that is not big and glamorous? Is that what I'm saying? No. Because I know some people got me wrong on Facebook. They're saying, oh, Dr. Pearson is supporting people who will want to, politicians who will go in the community after the people finish suffering and voting for them, and they will just build any kind of foolish or do any kind of foolish project, and then we should accept it. No, but that's not the idea. No, in community development or in development theory, one of the things that you will learn if you want to do development theory, they will say, development must happen in the context of the environment that you're living in. So, say for instance, you went to a village, right? That don't have electricity. All right, don't have a connection for pipe borne water, right? And then you go there and you build this elaborate house, a wire running all inside, pumps everything all over. You run the pipes or the pumps everything, but there is no feeder. Feeder means there's no connection in this remote village. There's no connection to maybe the hydro plant or to the water plant, right? So whatever you build and put in a house there, it's just going to sit there. It's not going to be valuable. It's not going to be useful to whoever occupying the house. So compare that to going to the remote village and you build this house there instead of putting pipe and electrical current wire everything, but then maybe you build a well in a yard, and then maybe you put up maybe a solar panel because the remote from the production for current plant, let's say maybe wet plane or maybe LEC plant, right? So you put solar panel there. Now those things make sense, meaning your development with your development is happening within the context of the environment in which the development is taking place. Let me give you another example. Say you went in the deep part of Lofa County, All right, or you went in the deep part of Nima County because I've gone in some parts in the country then either to go help with some of my members who were bereaved. I went to help them with their bereavement in remote parts, all that kind of thing. Maybe you go to a place where you got to walk almost one day or one maybe say 12 hours or 8 hours to get to the village from the main road. And then where you go into, there's no the place is not accessible to vehicle. So what the essence of you carrying vehicle and giving it to the people there as a donation is not it's not going to be useful to them. So you got to carry development within the context and of the environment. So with that premise, let me say this, right? I was fortunate to have been to be born in Liberia, grew up in Liberia, and not only there, but I was there throughout the Civil War, after the Civil War, and the last time I remember I left from Liberia was 2023, right? But this is the thing. This is the thing. Even 2023, even in 2023, when I came went to Liberia, where I went to vote, I went all the way in Bon Mines, where I used to go for vacation when I was in Liberia. Uh, during the before the Civil War, we used to go Bon Mines, Baileyman, they call the place Baileyman. That's where I went to vote, 2023. All right. So when you are in rural community, I'm going to make that reference because I want to tell you that I've been in a lot of. In fact, I've been through all the county, of the counties in Liberia. I've been through that. I've been through some of the remote villages as well. So one of the things you realize is that when you in remote places, the infrastructure development thing you find there, you see there, they are in context. They are in context. It's not like, oh, the same house you build, moreover, you go in the village, you go build it, or the same house you build on Brussia, the same house you go and build in Mambatan. And you have to build in context. So having made that clarity, let me talk about tier one ways project. Now, and if tier one way having to see this video, whether on LinkedIn, because it's on LinkedIn, or you're having to see this video on YouTube or on Facebook, let me say this tier represented one way. Listen, do not allow people to discourage you based upon the pressure they bring on you on social media. Your involvement in your county, your involvement in your district should be in context. And what I see you did down there is in context, and I will tell you why I think it's in context from a developmental standpoint. One, Liberia is far behind. Since 1847, we had our independence. Liberia is far behind when it comes to development. If anybody want to argue with me, let us take a drive from ELW Junction to Buchanan City, one of the most populated routes in Liberia. You reach to some places where you still see people living in mud huts, thatch on a roof, mud floor, and every single day or week politicians, some of them senators, some of them representatives, some of them presidents, they pass by those huts, they pass by those properties every single week or day. However often they travel on our Buchanan Highway. But now one of them thought to themselves that in the 21st century, nobody in Liberia, with the wealth we got in that country, nobody in Liberia should be living in thatched huts or mud huts with mud flow. No. At least not even between Monrovia to Buchanan. No, because to be frank, those places are accessible to development. But we leave all of that. We come and knock on these young men who have decided to relieve the people at a remote rural village area, and then they're making noise. Let me tell women why do I think that you've not done anything wrong? Why do I think you've not done anything wrong? For the purpose of our viewers, I want to show you something. Just for those who view, I want to show you something. Look at what here one, when in the other camera fire, but look at this little stall. We will call it stall, right? Market stall. But here when we decided to name it maybe a rest stop. So because it's along the road. So imagine it this way, right? So like when I was in Burma, so then we go for vacation like that. Sometimes we decide to take our bags and go in the remote parts in Burma, is there in the remote areas there on the farms to go and buy maybe cassava or buy sugar cane or buy whatever else, and you bring it down to Belema. All right. You'll notice that some places you go, and this is not just for palm mines, it's for Lofa, because I've been in Lofa, Nima, Grand Gita, there's a lot of places. Some places, some farms you go on, or some places you go there, villages apart, and now you get a whole day walk. So the other time, I was going to a place in, it was Lofa County before, but now they're calling it Bapuru County. Before it became Bapuru County, well, I was going to a village called Yangaya. So where the car put you down, because of the bad road, you have to walk, say for, so like the car put you down, like you walk like maybe 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours to get to the town itself, where the car will put you down. Or say you walking between or Yangaya, which is the village back in Lufa County, now it's in I think Bapuru County, Lower Lufa. If you walk in that village, maybe from there to go to what they call, to the place they call Pakotan. Pakotan is on the main Lufa highway there, somewhere around there. Pakotan, the upper Lufa area there, right? When we did that walk, it took us, for instance, pretty close to uh, 8 to 9 hours walk, right? So if you have that image in your mind, and then you come to think about it, that somebody who is living in a village that is 3 4 hours away from the main road, or maybe where the main market stall is, all right. So maybe at in a seasonal location, people will bring them. Some of them will call what they call market day or whatever cases. But you have to bring your, maybe with your two kids toting some of the low, because cassava, for instance, is heavy. Fruits and things are heavy. So maybe you got your two children and you got your family member, your kids in there, and the toting those low, and it's all to bring it to town, to the main road like this to sell. So say for instance you walk in there 8 to 9 miles along the inaccessible areas. And you find maybe a district representative decided, you know what, between different villages and towns and within my district, along where people having the farm towards coming to the main road, and on the main road, they will have places like this to stop. Whether it is raining or they having some kind of condition, they want to stop and rest for a while and continue. The question I want to ask a lot of Liberian people, and tell one way, if tell one way listening to me, why is this design, why is this modern structure important for rural community? Now let me explain. There's something you want to be aware of, they call um convenience, right? Convenience or comparability or compatibility. So say tier one way on this isolated highway decided to build an elaborate structure here that is attractive to theft, meaning stealing. Maybe you make the place attractive, there's a full no security or whatever the case is, you expose it to theft. Say maybe like during right after the Liberian Civil War, when Madam Ellen Johnson then took power, one of the things he decided to do was put up a light post. And they put up light posts along part of the RIA highway. Maybe let's say first, not maybe, but starting from ELW Junction, we're going through King Grave all the way to Rehab area. That they were putting up street lights. First of all, there was no proper security at the time. That infrastructure development that took place there was a waste, because people they chisel all the poles, those aluminum poles that were put up, those aluminum poles were chiseled. All right. And those of us who live in District 6 at the time, we saw it clear of our own eyes, even the lepo between ELW Junction all the way through King Gray, in front of King Gray, all the lepos, and the people saw them down, and they took the alley and they went and sold it. Fast forward, I think another thing that we did again in Monrovia, I'll go to the rural community. I'm talking about theft and property and theft in locality, in the environment. Why? I'm talking about convenience, comparability, and compatibility with the development project, with the environment and your local setting. Another thing that I saw in Liberia after the civil crisis was that, I think it was during Ellington again, or George Manning we had time. I think it was Ellington. They put a solar panel on for street lights. They put street lights and they put solar panel on it. The same between ERW Junction going down to Yeah, it's a King Ray now or going all the way to go to either market, going to rehab, going towards getting the job. All those street lights they put up there with the solar panel, don't mean looted all those solar panel. They looted all the solar panel. So what am I saying? Development has to be strategic, especially for Liberia. Since 1847, we've been living in our country there. There's no proper opening of our country for national development. So tell one way, this design, whoever gave him this idea, I think they did well because it reduces the level of attractiveness for theft and for stealing. Like for instance, if somebody were passing by this structure and they saw it, there's not much to loot to loot down there. All right, you can argue me all you want. I'm just giving you some facts. So let move to the next point. Why I think this structure is important. Another reason why I think this is not a bad idea is because there has to be something referred to in developmental context within the local environment is the feasibility. So feasibility is another thing. So tell one way, listen to me. Feasibility is another thing. So when I'm talking in context, if you look at my post on social media, when I'm talking about feasibility, my idea about feasibility for those who didn't understand my post when I put it up is not only does this structure that we're looking at, when you look at it from far, looking ain't no yeah, then when people start critiquing, but when you come closer, look at it again. Feasibility. Let me bring it closer so you can see what I'm talking. So feasibility, look at it again. So feasibility, this size and this design, this structure, it makes it easy for the people for whom this structure is built to take ownership of this structure. And not only that, but they are also able to maintain it if tier one way is no longer representative or have no more interest to go back to this thing to say every year you gotta go maintain it. The local community is able to own this type of structure because it is manageable, it is feasible for the local environment. The local community is able to manage this structure. Whether it means to change the 8 pieces of zinc or 10 pieces of zinc on top of it, they might be able to do it. Another thing that they might be able to do is that they might be able to pin this because one may coming from town or from one of the urban location of this district can buy one cup of pin and come down and say, you know what, pin in the man very right behind me, saying the thing our representative bid it for us. We don't gotta wait for the mayor to come back again and do anything about it. We also can pin this building here with one cup of pin. We can pin the little structure. And if you have 10 of this in that district, along farm to market rule, the people will be able to maintain this structure themselves. It is maintainable, it's feasible. Within the context of the local environment, it's feasible. Another thing I want to bring to our attention here is that the importance of ownership for sustainability. When the people realize that this little thing that you've done for them, in as much as it may seem mediocre for people who are in urban communities like Monrovia or in the United States or in Europe, in other developed countries, for them, this is mediocre. This is like, I mean, you playing fun of the people, but for the rural community, this is not just a mediocre development project. It is what I refer to from my say, it's presentable for the rural community. It makes a good service for long distance walkers from farm to market to the main street to put the produce along the road. At least they have somewhere to stand from the rain, to stand from the sun, while they wait for people driving on this road here to stop. And majority of the time in Labrador, we can do that. We can stop along the road, walk over to the people and see what they get, and then we buy from them. When you passing by all those main road, let's take another main street. I talk about Buchanan, but let's take another main street between a rail line all the way to Ganta, Nima County, and along from Ganta to San Nicolas, whatever else you want to carry. You will see some shacks along the way. Let me just, I shouldn't go that far. Those of us who drive in Moravia quickly will drive between rail line to Kakata. You see, people, you find some of these spots where people stop and they're selling. I mean, they are all in makeshift shacks, right? Makeshift shacks, broken planks, rotting zinc, right? Nobody says anything about those things. Lawmakers who represent those district power about those dirty, broken shacks, and nobody said anything about it. This young man is trying to give his people a level of relief, and everybody running on Facebook condemning him and saying all kind of negligible things and negative things about him. I think the structure is presentable. I think it's concise for the local context. I think it's feasible for the environment. It's less attraction for theft. And another thing I feel again is that it is a commensurate with the local community capacity to own it and to maintain it. It is not going to take them much to maintain this work. And it's not going to take them much to maintain this work. And then as the country opens up, as the country develop, when the people see the value of what you've given them, this little thing that you've given them, they are able to build on it. All right. So development is progressive. All right. And I thought to mention that. And the reason why I mentioned the issue of ownership and sustainability in terms of maintenance is because this a lot of time politicians come to power and they carry on elaborate venture that are temporary. By the time they turn their back, they can't put money in it no more. Everything break down. But tell one way. Listen to me. Maintain this structure. And then after you build it for the first ones, your projects, the first ones that you build, after you build them across your district to relieve your people from the elements, which mean old man coming with a baby on her back, or cassava on her head, her two children in your hand, and she come on the main road. She ain't coming sit outside the road in the rain, in the storm, in the hot sun. She got somewhere to put she and her kids, right? And then they can move off from there. So with that with that situation, they are able to build from somewhere, to start from somewhere, right? So let's go to another thing, and I think that's where we need to pay attention to. If Chairwoman is no longer representing to the moral that community, let leave all the 10 or 15 ones, other ones he's going to build. This identical one here with this little town. If you look at it, Kenya, there's a town behind this little structure here. That town behind it can maintain this structure. Without here, when we're putting 5 cents in it further, that town can maintain it. It's a relief to the poor people. Now, I asked one of my friends, childhood friends, on Facebook today. I said, listen, all of the condemnation that Tell One is receiving, show me, show me in the urban area, like in Pins is an urban area, to be very frank. Pins is an urban area, meaning Pins City is a little developed. Between Ara 2, because I work with my friend, we're talking about, I work with that in that area we live, between Ara 2 to ELWA Junction, right? Look every day and see kids going to school, children trying to go to school in the rainy season. See when they're walking along the road when it's raining. Is there anywhere for them to stand and stop while they're waiting for a car? No. Is there anywhere that maybe the sun too hot and the person and the late child sweating and walking from, maybe they're walking from Carver Mission, maybe they didn't get the transportation, so they're walking from Carver Mission to go all the way to Kennedy, or from Carver Mission, maybe they're walking to come all the way to Area Junction, and maybe the rain start falling and say, let wait more. Is there anywhere that they can stand that they want you looking at on this screen and say, let me stand here until the rain pass? No, no. And then this and the reason why I'm referring to this identical location, which in our political setting is district number 6. The reason why, and I'm not trying to shame my own friend and brother, Reverend Samuel Indus. Reverend Samuel Indus is doing a lot of other good things, and I'm not putting this on him whatsoever, right? But think about that. President Joseph Yiman Boyka live on rehab road for the majority of his life along with his children. He drive on that rehab road every morning. He went to town for 12 years as vice president with a vice president and a Senate pro temp, Senate president of the Senate budget of $2 million plus every single year. Now one bus stop or one rest stop he built between Rehab and ELW Junction. Now one. And even if you're in a vast presidential convoy and people cheering was standing inside the road and they running where they can be running, they will spill water on them and pass. Now one. Now one bus stop. And let leave Joseph Boca president. George Manuel Weah was also president for 6 years. He lived Rehab as well. He drives every morning. He used to drive every morning from Rehab to go to the executive mansion. Between Rehab, that's why I say I started from Aratu, from Rehab all the way to ELW Junction. What relief like this that the students can say, so in urban area, we're talking about market stop area, but at least just bus stop for our children when it's raining. How many bus stops do you see there when the children stay in the rain when President Boca passing a convoy, or when President Weah used to passing his convoy? How many? All the representatives that ever been in District 6. The only person that I saw build something like that before was Representative Snow, Edwin Snow, Edwin Snow Jr. And I think he built some of these things like this, just like this. But his own will cover all sides with walls. He had one in front of Acid David, that I saw you put there. And I think he had a bit area there, something like that. Right? But what I'm driving at here is that why are you people beating on a young man who decided to provide some relief for the Liberian people? Relief for the Liberian people. So if I was an elderly or an old man coming, walking 2 hours, 3 hours to come on the main road to put my market side of the road for cars that are passing to stop and buy from me, will I not, in the context of my environment, appreciate the thing I'm looking at here? So where my children can sit, my baby can be lying down on the floor there. Why it raining outside in my market on the, we are not appreciate this. If this structure is between villages and towns before reaching to the mirror, where if rain catch up on the road between walking from the village to come to reach to the mirror before we sell our market, will we not in the context of our environment appreciate this structure? We will appreciate this structure. Is it enough for our country? No, it is not enough for our country. Can we do better? Yes, we can do better. But should we condemn somebody who trying to relieve the suffering of the ordinary people? No, no. I think it's unfair. I think it's not the right way to go. No. All right. Now let me take this conversation one step further. I want to take this conversation from on Representative Tel one way, and I want to take this conversation to the role of a representative, right? So the role of a representative to begin with is not for you to go and campaign by giving people bag of rice, giving people free money, and promising people to come back and do things for them in a way that you can buy their votes. That's bad for Liberia. And that's one of the things I've heard our politics for a long time. We built a society on which the lawmakers have so much pressure on them that they become a conduit by which we want them to go and steal and then bring the money and put the money and give it to us for free. That mentality is wrong. If the lawmaker is elected to office not because he bought the vote of the people, not because he bought the vote of the people, not because he enticed them with bags of rice, not because he gave them $10 or $5, but he was voted into the House of Representatives or the Senate because he is to go there and represent them and let their voices be heard. That they will make laws and they will make budgets, and they will oversee those laws and oversee those budgets in terms of supervision, in terms of oversight, to make sure that if they make laws to protect their people, those laws are respected. If they pass budget, that this budget is going to go for community development, that the community development should happen. All right. If they go into the legislature, and they sit down there and the government say, you know what happened? We want to do this or we want to do that, and their voices can be heard for these very people that they went to that voted them in, and say, man, people need this, man, people need that, and it is placed in the budget. Yes, those are the kind of things that they were elected to do, right? But I hear people saying, oh, the people elected you, and then you decide to carry project in the community, that kind of thing you carry there. That question is not for Tia One Way. No, Tia One Way is acting out of his kindness, out of the kindness of his heart. He's not the kind of individual who will be elected by the people and carry on his legislative function in the House of Representatives, and because he's personally have small money on him as his personal cash, then he say, I can give some back to the community. So if he's giving some of his personal cash back to the community, he should be appreciated, not shame for trying to help his people. That's what I'm saying. Because his role as a representative is not to take his personal money and go build things to entice people to vote for him for tomorrow. If he does it again, then that's politics. I don't blame him for playing to the politics of the day. So let me tell you why I say if it's politics, after I mentioned the issue about his legislative roles. So let's say he decided to do outside of the national budget and development agenda. Say he decided to go and do this kind of project in his district from his pocket, right? From his own money. And say maybe he built these different rest areas along between villages and along the main road in certain strategic locations where the people will come and sell on the road in the evening or in the afternoon, and they get some relief from the sun or from the rain. This is the point I'm trying to make. For politics sake, oh yeah, he might put his signboard up and put his picture. He might put his picture on the building and put his name on it and say this is a project he's doing. He's a politician. He has to brand himself. He has to communicate. He has to get to his people so they can know that he's thinking about them. There's nothing wrong with that. President Boca went instead of cleaning in his web picture and his picture then on cleaning base spread. You ain't thought nothing about that one. You ain't come out and make big noise and say, oh, the man go. And then in the same building that they say they run a vetted cleaning, they put the President Boca picture on the base spread, on the pillowcase. You ain't thought nothing about that one there. But then when you go behind that same place, they say they run a vetted, see the whole place looking trashy and dirty, the city all falling off from behind her. Then they say, oh, the president want to dedicate, renovate that building. Why? No. What is the difference? What? President Obama went to JFK to go get baby top. When pregnant woman ain't get drug, ain't get certain equipment to get safe delivery, other kind of thing. And he went to go get baby top and pay pocket, he put a picture on him. Who said anything? And, let us not be hypocritical in how we do politics in Liberia. And I think the young man should his project. I think, and I want to say they can tell women if you come across this video, I want to say to you, this project is not bad because it suits the local context in the rural community. Your people will be able to maintain this even in your absence. They are able to change the 5 or 6 or 10 pieces of zinc on top of them when it's poor. They will be one person will be able to bring one cup of paint and paint it if the paint gets damaged. It's a good sustainable concept that you give people what they are able to manage, and then you train them to take ownership of it so that it is not there one day and then when you're not there they're no longer there. With this size of a rest stop for people between farms and the main road, is convenient for them, is feasible, is comparable, and it is what will be sustainable in your absence. If only you can add education to this project, add education, add awareness. My people, I'm building this thing here for you. Because that you're the one working from your farm with your children in, you're the one working from maybe 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours to come to the main road. The other one will sit down in the sun here for maybe the next 3, 4, 5, 6 hours to sell your market along the road so people can see your market and think, oh, while you're waiting for a car, you will suffer it. So this is for you. I'm not going to build anything that will be so elaborate that after 6 months, 2 months, 1 year, 2 years, then nobody can keep it up because I'm not there, put anything to do anything about it. This is manageable. This is something you can own, and this is something you can take care of, and going forward. I don't have to come back to it. And then I can move to something else. Move to something else. And trust me, as the community improve, as the community open, as the country gets more advanced, this structure will change. And let me close on to one way in this project by saying this. A lot of people who condemning this are in America here, especially in America and Europe and other places. And I saw I saw one of my friends trying to compare this with the rest stops, what we call the rest stops we got here in the US. Around, when you're traveling highway, they get rest stop. They say, "Oh, why ain't just for near the road and put parking lot for car to park there? If somebody want to come park and sleep." Listen, this is that bro we're talking about. This is the rural community we're talking about here. This is the rural development. This is not urban development. This is rural development. There's a difference. You have to develop in context. You want to put something down. Now, when you're not there tomorrow, the people able to take care of it. You won't put something down tomorrow when you're not there, then everything go back to square one. Like all of the other projects in the past, people have carried development in the district. By the time they represented no more, or they're not senator no more, the whole project died down. Everything go back into the slum. The people go back to square one. With proper education and proper awareness, with manageable, feasible, contextual developmental agenda like this and project like this, the people can be trained to manage their own thing and to own it. Tomorrow, when you're not there, they can put their own thing, they can paint it themselves. Let me move on from there. So yeah, in America, yeah, our rest stops here are different because the quality of life improve over time. If the people show you pictures of the first step of rest stop that they had before the one they got today, it changed over time. If they show you the gas pump that they had yesterday to the gas pump they get today, you will see the difference over time. If they show you the freezer that they used yesterday and they show you the freezer that they use today, you will see the difference over time. If you look at the car that they built yesterday and you look at the car that they built today, you will see the difference over time. If you look at the houses they built yesterday and you look at the houses they built today, you will see the difference over time. The same thing with pressing iron in Liberia. If you look at the pressing iron we use when we're small, it's not the same pressing iron we're using right now. You see the difference over time. If you look at the cell phone development, if you look at the cell phone we use in the 90s, and you look at the cell phone we look using now in 20 in 2000, you see the difference. Things change over time. You have to be within the context of the local environment and time. And I think Tell Woman, you did a good job. And I want to say, don't if this is if yeah, like you said, if it's a project for multiple of the same structure across your district, continue with this manageable project for the local community, the rural community, and allow them, educate them, tell them, say, listen, this thing I'm putting here today, I want you to be able to maintain it tomorrow when I'm not here or I'm not representative or I no longer can be here with you. I want you to be able to tell yourself, and the day representative in here again, we also can change our thing and put new thing there after every year. Or we also can buy one cup of pin and we can pin it every year. We don't have to wait for a representative tier one way to come and do it for us. That is called development in context. Development in context, right? Development in context. All right. So thank you again, Tia Wome, for that project. So before I close, I got at least 15 more minutes, but before I close, let me say this. I'm disturbed by two motorcyclists that were killed today in Liberia in the slipway area by police officers who were chasing them on motorcycle, and they were in the police pickup and they knocked him down, and I heard one of the guys even burst his head. I mean, he burst his skull, right? And I think that is sad for Liberia. I think that that shouldn't be happening in our country. I think we should go past, and where we are not able to help our people in a way that will make them to feel safe. you know and I got this thing. I always tell people, look, if you can't help somebody, don't hurt them. you know if you can't help somebody, don't hurt them. I gave you this example when before I came to the States in 2014. One other time I was on Broad Street. All right. And I was on Broad Street. I went to buy something. I think it was my lunchtime. I went to buy something. And my car was parked on Render Street. And because every time I went to town, every time I went to town from my office, I went to town. A lot of the what you can call in Liberia, call them Gruna, in our day, we used to call them Gruna boys, right? But we used to call them car loaders. When you park your car, all of you in Liberia, no, I'm talking about the men who run away from Liberia a long time. But those of you in Liberia, when you park a car, the men will come, they won't wash your car, they will come, they want to clean your car, and then when you come, you find something for them, right? So every time I went to town, I had this identical guy who will always run on me. Oh, be better here, be better here. Park the car. And we used to be, we used to be afraid to park our car. The couple would come in, they will press on the windshield, bring it down, steal anything you got in your car. You know, kind of, but when I packed my car, that guy would mom my car for me. I think they say he passed away, but he used to be on Broad Street, the Broad and Randall Street, loading car. One tall, slim guy. He used to like my business. And every time I went there, beside him, I had other guys in there. I would find something for them. And say, people there, I'll be brother. I find something for them. I go right on, some of you know the area, right on Kerry Street and Randall Street there. They got the food plate that we could go eat our meat soup, dry rest, something power up there, up between there. So when I pack my car in any other area in there, the minute that money for me, money for me. And let me tell you this thing. One time my wife, someone fake, trick her. She wanted to change her US note. Somebody went and trick her. They took the $100 US from her. And while she was not paying attention, they said, "Oh, I want you the money again. Get her your US that was a fake money." When I heard it, I went grocery. I met that my same guy talking about. I told him the guy went. He brought that money back for me. He brought that money back for me. And then I gave him small thing, and he carried it to the person who stole the money. That's how, that's how my relationship with some other guys were at that time. So I came out, and I saw this police guy sitting on the hood of the taxi driver with the taxi driver lesson plate in his hand, right in his hand, sitting on the hood. So then the car little guy talking, he was in confrontation with you're going back and forth with the police guy on the issue that was going on, blah blah blah. So and then when he saw me coming, he said, "Oh, okay, so go out, chief coming, our chief coming." He called me, so I asked the police guy. I said, "My man, I said, what's going on?" He said, "Oh, the man he park in place or he play parking supposed to park there." I said, "Okay, then why did you pull the man lesson plate from the front of his car? And why you sitting on the man car?" He said, "Because the man won't stop. I was trying to stop him, won't start. I took a lesson plate, I sat in the car." I said, "So, why would you want to do that?" So I stayed right there, and I called the chief of traffic. All right. At the time, the chief of traffic was one of my friends, but now he passed away now. All right. Call the chief of traffic. And so, and the call and said, "My man, listen, you already get a man ticket, or you already take the man lesson plate and bring it, report it to the station, and then we'll go find the man." All right. But you're not supposed to take the man lesson plate and sit down in the man car. You know. Another time again, I was coming from my house because I live right here at ELW Junction, right? So I coming from my house, driving to go to work. Right at ELW Junction, we would never have around buying all the kind of thing. Or just Gene Davis too, and small student in front of the and the dirty community, and then the guys in put him in a beat the harassing people. So they went and put one guy, one taxi driver car. And then the other police guy went and took the main car tire from under the car. So one tire from under the taxi driver car for parking in front of James Davis too. So and then I stopped my car and asked him why you took the main tires from under your car. See, because the man supposed to park it. But even the man supposed to park it, will you take the main tire from under your car? You wheel the main vehicle tire from your car because you feel the man sort of park there. So these are the kind of things that we saw sometimes in Liberia, and we all frown on. We all were like, no, these kind of things are supposed to be happening, you know. And we thought that by now, after so many years, and the Civil War is over. Army has come and trained police. The United States government has supported, security sector reform. People have gone to police academy. People have come back. We've thought that by now our police force will be trained. To know some of the things that they can do and some of the things that they cannot do. Why will you drive in a chase behind motorcyclists because he said this will be riding in no area, in that kind of area? Then they get a ban, a recent ban on them in this area. This will be riding in that kind of area. You chase them and you knock them over and kill them. So how can you justify that murder as compared to the violation of don't ride motorcycle in this area? The riding the motorcycle in that area and the driving and running the person over with a police vehicle until you burst their head and take their life, which is a greater crime. Which is a greater crime. I think Gregory Como, Colonel Gregory Como, Inspector General Gregory Como need to have a serious talk with his police force. I think it is too much that every now and then we hear about police shooting and killing civilians. Every now we hear again that police beat somebody and the person died, or police drove the car and hit somebody and killed them, or police go and get false warrants and go and raid some kind of political party headquarters. I think they're supposed to stop. They're supposed to stop. And that's where I want to bring this conversation to a close. And I want to say thank you for those of us who follow this conversation. I want to say, yeah, look, Representative Tai One Way, maintain your project. And I think it's feasible. And if there's no other thing that will convince you, let me say this. This is what should convince you, Tai One Way, to keep this as it is. This little project, this little building is comparable to the rural community. It is affordable. It is feasible. It is convenient for the local community. This, with proper education, will allow them to and tell them and educate them. Say, listen, this is manageable. Own it and maintain it for a sustainable use. And tell them, and if possible, if you have references in your district, refer them to other projects that people did just for the political show of it. And then after they left office, it couldn't be maintained, it couldn't be kept. And today it is nowhere around. But educate your district that with this manageable, comparable rural development structure, you are able to own this and you are able to maintain it. The pieces of zinc on top of here is not more than you can afford. The little pin that you have to pin this to make it look decent is not more than you can afford. It is something that you can own. That tomorrow, even if I don't come back here, when I turn my back here today, if I don't come back, you are able to maintain this. Able to maintain this. I think it is good. And I think your heart, tell one way, I think your heart is in the right place. Don't listen to political bullies because they have not done nothing for the people themselves. Drive from ELW Junction to Buchanan City. See the makeshift structure. See the terrible structures you will see along the road. None of the politicians that ride in a $45,000 car, $60,000 car, $100,000 car have ever attempted to change this. When you go into Buchanan, before getting to Buchanan itself, there's a famous market area in right there. I finished forgetting the name of that area, but where they get the Pearson school, somewhere around there. It's not too far from what I'm talking about. Is that the Pearson school? No, they are talking about somewhere. But yeah, but Buchanan Highway, right before getting to the bridge, the guy one bridge that I just finished forgetting the name of that area. If anybody will know it, can put in the chat later on, right? But before getting to Buchanan, everybody know what I'm talking about. Before getting to Buchanan, will be on your left. If you're coming from Buchanan, will be on your right. Almost all of us can stop down to that particular spot to buy cassava, buy plenty, buy crawfish, buy whatever you want to buy. Fresh food or thing you can buy right there. Look at what they got there. You only people there. You only not stop there. She buy from there before. They don't not stop there. They buy from there before. Almost all the law they got not stop there and buy from there. But nothing that they're sitting on there. Nothing that they're sitting on there. I can tell you for a fact, nothing that they're sitting on there. The people, what the people get there, broken table, broken makeshift stuff there behind, and then right behind at the time. None of them got it, but none of them have thought about even putting there for the people. Sad. Between Orela and Kakata, there are famous stopping areas that we can stop to buy the same thing I'm talking about. Crawfish, season this, cassava, or plenty, or sugar cane. See that broken down tables. None of those lawmakers who passing 65,000 car, and for the 5,000 car, however, stop along those areas to put anything like this down for the poor and say, let me put it down for them so they can use it. None of them. But then they got the audacity to come and complain to you. I close by saying, tell one way, my 1 hour over. I close by saying to you, tell one way, what you are doing in your district between the farm in the main road by putting that kind of structure down in between the villages and towns and then one on the main road is a very good idea in your district. Your the old man who walking from that 2 hours walk from the village on her foot, 2 hours walk or 1 hour 30 minutes walk, meeting one of these things along the way when there's rain or when she wants to rest with her baby in her market and her children in your hand. This she will appreciate you for this. This is better than nothing. And then the fact that it is small and convenient and feasible and contextual, encourage them, educate them that what I'm putting here is for you, it's not for me. This is not my tell one way university tomorrow when I'm not representing, I go collect school fee from your children. This is not tell one way clinic where tomorrow when I'm not representing, I can't charge you for the drugs that you coming to buy in my clinic. No, this is for you. It is small, it is manageable, it is sustainable, it can be easily maintained. Tomorrow when I'm not even here, don't even wait for me. You can put your own zinc on top of it, you can put your own pin around it, and this will serve you for a long period of time. Thank you for following this live. Yeah, it was a pleasure having you today. And I just decided to add my voice to the argument about whether what one we're doing is good or is bad. In my view, it's a good initiative. It falls in the context of the rural community that he's working in. It is sustainable, and if the local people can be educated to take ownership, they can manage all of this structure that Chairwoman will put in different villages and towns between the farm reaching onto the main road for the market. Have a good day. Tell one way you did a good job, and I know you tell one way not as face-to-face individual. You must have not stood and talk, but I follow your activities. I know you are developmental in your mind. I know your orientation is one of expounding from small to big. So I applaud you. I encourage you. If anyone try to shame you for what you are doing, don't accept that shame, because what you're doing is sustainable development. It's not a show off, political show off, so that tomorrow when you're not there and everything go by the square one. In Liberia, maintenance is our problem. We are good for building big things for the show, make big noise and cut ribbons. By the time we turn our back, everything go by the square one. We are not there no more. But with this and education and awareness to your people, let them own it and let them cherish it and let them be able to maintain it with or without you. So God bless you, my young man. And I pray that you do more in your district to come. Besides this other need you've just met, or you're trying to meet, think about other needs that you need that you are able that you'll be able to meet. All right. So yeah, just the social needs are there, and the needs that you are meeting is directly impacting the people, the common people. It's not for few individuals, it's going to impact the entire community. And I appreciate you for that. Have a good one there one way. You did a good job. God bless you. Go in the house, love it for your people. Get the county development fund component that will be, particularly for your district, lobby with the with the Ministry of Rural Development, as they call it right now, and let the developmental agenda for your people through your district council or your county council bring the kind of additional development that your county needs. Building as part of your lawmaker responsibility is not from your pocket. It should come from the national coffers. But if you decide to do something from your pocket, we appreciate you. All right. And we want to say thank you. Keep up the good work and let God bless you. Have a good day. I play this song before I go. All Liberian music and get taught, right? They got another picking that hard they feel in Liberia. Picking say, don't let nobody worry you. Oh. In fact, he said the picking say, if you get them why, they will say they want W. Don't let nobody worry you. Tell one way. Do what you're doing for your people and let it be sustainable as I see it. I see it is. And let God continue to bless you. Yeah. Let me play the song again so you can hear the heart. Tell one way. Let me play the song again so you can hear the heart. The other picking get talk in the other song. Yeah, picking get talk. Yeah, let me play that song. All right. Let me play that song. Let's tell one me eat show, man. Y'all little boy, little boy eat show. Tell me, continue, bro. You going somewhere? Keep it going, yeah.